Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Ngina and we are here with another episode of Nairobi Sisterhood and I'm here with my friend.
Maya?
Wow.
What? Sindi sawa, Maya.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's your name. Great. Anyway, so this
Just
episode...
me to be like, Maya.
Yes, I'm like, why are you not excited about your name?
I am. But I've had it for too
Anyway.
long. But I am.
You trying to change it? Or you
No,
just trying to change your last
it's
name?
just like, I think maybe I should have been excited when I was younger. Now I'm just like, hey, they ain't maybe dinner for real for a while.
Wow.
Anyway, carry on.
That's not where I was expecting this to go. Anyway, this episode we're talking about our high school experience and you know how it shaped us into the women we are today. I suspect that this is going to be like
Or traumatized us into the women we are today.
yes, or beat us down into the women we are not trying to be.
Oh,
you
not
know?
beat us down. I die.
We had it's very, what do I say, nuanced. There's levels to it. Yeah, because there's definitely a few good things, but I know our high school experiences, knowing you and you knowing me, we don't talk about it that much because of the impact it had in our lives, especially at that point in time. So, do you want to tell us the high school you went to? Are we name dropping?
I don't know whether I'm name dropping. Maybe I'll just say in general. Ama I give because kwani si watanichapa. Lakini hapana. Unajua niko about to come for them.
Defamation.
Let me just say, hey, I went to a public school for like my form 1 and then a private school after. And they all had magerio, like challenges, trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So what do you want me to start? Like from the top? Like today?
So, how was your Form 1 experience? Let's start there. Just like from the jump. You've left primary school. For me, my primary school was also a boarding school and my high school was a Catholic all-girls boarding. So, there's that. So, what was the transition like for you from the primary you were in to Form 1 in high school?
So, and not, let me just give a disclaimer. My parents did love me. But I went to boarding school in class 4. So, my primary boarding school was amazing. Like, the friends I have made from primary have carried me through to date, like post-uni. So, it was a beautiful place to be. And it was still a boarding school. Like, you're away from your parents, but it was like seeing your best friends every single day
like
and enjoying your life. And then it wasn't you wash your own clothes and all those things. We used to have our clothes washed for us. So the only thing I used to take care of was... Actually, let me shout out my primary school. I was in St. Peter's, and let me tell you, 10 over 10 would recommend. I don't know about now, but then...
At that time, yeah.
So it was very... What's it called? We were taken care of. The only thing you used to wash was maybe your socks and your innerwear. Like,
okay. So you felt like they acknowledged that you're still children.
But I mean, we were. Were we not children?
Yes, but them treating you like children and them...
acknowledging is different.
You being a child and you being treated like a child is different.
It's very, okay, yeah. And then it was even when we were, even kukwana those rules for you have to be in class by a certain time, it wasn't as harsh. Then I got to, hey, first of all, I did not know that it was gonna be the ghetto. I was taken to a public school and I was like, my first question was, where are the workers? Not in a bad way, but because why are we cleaning everything? We used to call it work. No, we used to call it work because sisi ndo takata nyasi, sisi ndo tosha pavements, the only thing we never used to do was cook. But everything else, yani, you're even washing the sufurias that I used to serve you. I'm like, nindendele huku? What in the ghetto? Did I come to school to study or did I come to school to work? I was a bit confused. So of course it was a struggle for me because I remember getting there. We were told to carry a bucket, but then the same bucket you're using to wash your pavement the one they expect you to shower with. I'm like, what in Jesus' name is this? It's giving unhygienic.
Not very hygienic, yeah.
It was a lot. So now imagine for Form 1. So you're there with those ugly uniforms, we're wearing yellow shirts and green skirts, looking like ketepa. I swear,
if you can guess our high school.
Oh my gosh.
It
was really the ghetto. Sikuelewa. And then constantly, like you're waking up, you go to prep. I think you leave prep, you go wash the pavement. You leave the pavement, you go eat breakfast. Then you go for another prep. Then you start classes. Something like that.
Yeah.
And I was late for everything. Mimi first of all, hata kufetch maji ya kuoga. I'm like, mbona kuna na maji moto. Okay, kuna maji moto in primary. But then I don't even expect you to do the most and give me instant heater.
Yeah.
But why am I fetching water from sijui downstairs to go shower in my dorm upstairs? Because
every day.
unafetch
Wow.
maji
So the
mara.
bathrooms didn't have water, like constant flowing water.
Me nakwambia kuteseka tu. Me, I was like, what in Jesus' name is this?
Wow.
Then I talk to people and they're telling me how they used to even fetch water from the river. I'm like, guy. Niendelee huku. But culture shock.
Culture
For me,
shock.
it was culture shock.
Even you telling me this story is culture shock as much as my high school was its own was ghetto in its own way.
Me, I just liked the school mom. Shout out to my school mom, Barbara, and her friends, and my school grandma, because those people walikuwa naona huyu mtoto hajui nini nende. Like, this girl is green. She has no idea what's going on here.
Yeah.
She's like, huku ni wapi? Have I come to prison? It was crazy. Where am I?
I know the feeling. Mm-hmm.
And then I remember another culture shock that hit me was they didn't give you bread with breakfast in our school. So you just get like tea.
Huh?
They used to give you, the bakery was being constructed or something at the time when I joined the school. So we only used to get bread twice a week. Or was it thrice a week? All the other days you're supposed to buy something from the canteen. But they also told our parents to only give us 200 shillings for pocket money.
For
so
the
how
whole
is 200?
term?
Yeah, how is 200 supposed to support? And one thing about my parents, they are rule followers. Because why you give me Billy? 200 shillings.
And it's not in 1990 something.
We're talking about 2010.
2010. Yeah. So 200 was more than now, but it was not that much still.
Because everything in that shop was what? More than 50 shillings. What am I supposed to survive?
What?
Eating. I was so unhappy. I remember that first time I was like, hey, what's going on here? Like, do my parents hate me? Wow. It wasn't even their choice of school. It was you're sent to a school because you got a certain grade.
Yeah.
It was a ghetto. Hey, the trauma. Like, now that I'm looking back, I'm just like, Nima. Then your shirt's being stolen. Ay. Oh my God. Because why must I watch my clothes dry?
Or watch, like, sit down and watch clothes. Literally.
Because nikirudi, it will be a different shirt.
Oh.
No, imagine you're taking me back.
Be emotional. I knew this was gonna be an emotional episode, but I didn't know it was gonna be emotional like this. Where do I even start? Jesus. Okay, for one, at least listening to you, I can now appreciate some things about my high school that maybe I never was able to appreciate before. There was running water, at least most of the time, because also it was in a very rainy place. So most bathrooms, there was a bathroom on every floor of the dorm, and
it had water.
And they had water. And when there was no water, which was like maybe once or two times a time, it wasn't consistent. You would need fetch water in those moments, but there was like a well where you could fetch water from. You're not going at it to a river or anything of the sorts. But my transition was very weird because our parents love us. Our parents love us a lot. But I went to boarding in class 6. At my boarding school, unlike them who were treated like children when they were children, my primary boarding was kind of the opposite. You get in, it's like you're an adult. Everyone there acts like they know everything about life. People are dating and, hooking up and the sex. And I am I'm 10 years old, man. I don't know what's going on.
People having sex?
Yeah. In primary, yes. I can't even name. Okay, I can name drop them because they closed.
No,
the school closed, but I still won't for the sake of people who went to that school.
Okay,
but yeah,
the school closed.
Yeah, the school closed. It was dramatic.
Because they are letting children have sex in.
It's not even a matter of letting.
They didn't know.
I don't know whether they knew or they didn't know. All I know is that I walked into that school and that the culture was like everyone was so grown. Everyone was doing things for themselves. Everyone was, independent-ish. And I'm just a child. Like, you're washing your own clothes. You're doing your own things.
This is in primary?
This is in primary school. Okay. I have no idea what's going on. So as I was transitioning to high school, that level of independence and doing things for myself the culture had already been built in me. So that was not the shocking part. The culture shock for me came in with the people and the rules and the structure. Because I guess because of, clearly, if people can have sex, the rules are not that strict.
Yeah.
And, the enforcement of the rules was not that strict, even if the rules were strict themselves. Mm-hmm. So basically, my Form 1 was more like, huku ni wapi? Like, where is this? What am I meant to be doing? Very naive, very new. But then for me also, I was very small, like in stature. Like, I was very small. So people... the Form 4s in that time used to take pity on me. So I never really did a lot of things for myself. So my culture shock actually came in Form 2 when these people left and I was on my own. And for a very long period of time, I was wondering, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with myself? Who am I? What am I doing? And in Form 2, I had my first panic attack. And I didn't know it was a panic attack because it manifested like an asthma attack until I went to hospital and I was rushed to hospital. And the doctor is there with my mom and is like, this girl is extremely anxious.
Wee.
And I didn't know what to do with it. But it was because I felt like at home I couldn't be myself. In school I can't be myself. So what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Whoa.
And it's because this Catholic girls' school, there's this arbitrary rule system that you're supposed to follow. That
Don't even get me started. That's a whole topic on its own.
they're putting you in a box that you never even knew existed before you got here. And already as a teenager or as
There's a lot
an
going
adult,
on.
you're still figuring out who you are, but they're trying to tell you who you are, but you're doing those things, but you're not comfortable, you're not happy. Basically, my high school life was sad.
Oh, bless
yeah.
you. I'm sorry.
For the most part. Nope, not gonna cry.
I got the tissue.
Well, yeah.
I got you. Boo. I got you.
For the most part, there were happy moments, but I was sad. Yeah. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I wasn't living life.
In high school.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
What people live and living life, or we were just trying to conform. If we're being quite honest.
That's the thing. But you see how you conform and how I conform is different.
Yeah.
And how you react to that conforming. And if the conforming is aligning with your personality, then you're in a better position than someone who
it's not
at all.
Yeah, I hear you.
You just feel like you're constantly fighting a battle that you're losing.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a lot. I hear you though.
Yeah, I laugh when I'm sad.
I'm so sorry. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But imagine high school was the ghetto.
But what that said, like, let me try and like move us away from like the negative aspects, which I know there are probably a lot of, and
I have a whole list.
Given also, like, I don't know if you saw the recent TikToks of how people are calling out their headmasters and their prefects on TikTok.
No, what?
I'll show you the trend later, but if you probably know, just go search Kenyan high school TikToks, and then you'll see people calling out their high schools and their principals. But
by their names,
it's a culture with their faces, with their photos.
Not their photos.
With their photos.
People are rude. I love it.
So I just feel the high school culture in Kenya, especially at the time when we were growing up, was very, very trash. Like, it was...
It's really they're getting suspended for unnecessary things. I mean, suspendiwa.
How many times were you suspended?
Okay, once, but it was not received well at home. Sometimes I even think about some things and I'm like, when you suspend someone, where do you think they'll go? Because their parents will kill them. So now you want to kill me in school and then kill me at home. I'm mad. Yeah. Kwanzaa, I feel like the worst part is the suspensions for like LGBT reasons. I'm just like, you think this person is not accepted. First of all, their hormones are doing the thing. Then you've decided to impose rules that make no sense to them.
Yeah.
And then now you send them home with something their parents cannot even understand.
Yeah.
Because even them themselves, you don't understand. Even you yourself, you don't understand.
You're still
make it make sense.
each other.
People are going to die. People are going... Like, it's wild.
It is very wild.
It's just...
Yeah. But what is the most positive experience you had in high school? Find one. I know it might be difficult. Search that database. Find one.
I think it's the little joys that came with being in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Things like, why were we so excited about funkies?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's the
you're excited about funkies and the boys were meeting.
Were looking like problems themselves.
Haven't showered in like 6 days, so they smell like sweat.
And they haven't showered. Not they haven't showered. You're rude. But it's true.
But it's also because
but they used to shower because they're coming for the funky.
Okay, listen, that's what I'm saying. Let me contextualize. Most of the funkies I went to were sports related because I used to play hockey 1 through 4, which for me was actually the highlight of my high school. If I didn't have hockey, I don't know what would have happened.
You used to play sports. How am I finding out about this now?
I feel so offended.
Oh my God.
And my friend, someone who's known me for 7 years, you don't know that I'm a sporty person.
We spoke about you playing hockey, no? You've never mentioned it. You have. Sorry, I forgot. I played no sport. Child, nothing. First of all, to be fair, only Form 1 was the school I was in that had funkies. After that, I went to a school without funkies.
That's sad. That's extremely sad.
shit.
I feel sorry for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Because those are the only things that were like the only moments
So
where I
that's
could,
the thing. I'm saying
hold on to some hope of we are
high
going
school,
here and here.
High school was fun. Yo, but yeah, the funkies, the snacks. Like, wow, I miss things like bites and tamu-tamus.
They exist right now, but they don't taste the same.
They tasted amazing because we had access. We had limited access.
Yeah.
So when we had access, like, oh my god. Now it's like, why am I buying tam-tams? For what reason?
You can, but they just don't taste the same.
They don't slap.
They don't slap the way they used to.
Even it's the same way. It's some things like muturas only slap when you buy them at night.
In the streets, yeah.
Or
like that mixture of Blue Band and cocoa and sugar.
Oh,
and
yuck!
Right now, try that.
Yuck!
Like,
don't even say that. You know what was
ghetto?
disgusting? When I was in Form 1, we used to eat githeri every day. In that school I was in, every lunchtime.
Was this wait? Was this high school in Central Province?
No, it was in Kabete.
Oh. Just out them. I feel like we will blur that name because there's no way.
People who are with me in high school know.
Yeah.
We used to eat githeri every day, and for those who don't know, githeri is beans and maize together.
Mixture of beans and maize. Slight dash of weevils.
Ooh! So, I've gone to this school. I'm being given the githeri. I'm like, first of all, it has weevils. But I'm like, okay, we can move past the dead insects in life. But why are we eating it every day? And why are people mixing BB with their githeri? Yee! I was so confused.
I do that now.
Oh my God. Throw the whole girl away.
I'm about to walk out of here. I'm about to storm out of this podcast.
And then why are you putting... First of all, we don't even have knives. So we're packing the Blue Band onto the bread with our spoons. And then we use the same spoon to put sugar inside the tea. And then when you stir tea with a spoon with Blue Band, it has that mafuta.
Like but why don't you put the sugar first and then the Blue Band
You think people in high school have been doing all these? I just used to...
Common
our
sense.
eating system used to be... tables and then you're served per table. So if you're not the one who's serving that day, chakula unaekewa kwanza uko sande na mwenye anaserve. Unaserviwa chakula inatoshana sijui na ya mtoto. Like, why is that food so little?
Yeah.
As in, it was just wild. And then in our school, we used to have, the classes used to have turns to watch the dining hall. Mind you, the dining hall is being constructed. So half of it is an actual dining hall. The other half is a skeleton
like
of
a construction site, yeah.
Okay, and then I remember my first duty was cleaning stairs dining hall, and then you have to like scrub them with oh my god, Hazin. And then I remember I used to tell them leave for me the last 2 stairs because I used to always be late to come clean, and then when I'm done cleaning I'm late to finish with my work, so I get a punishment for not finishing work on time, then I get a punishment for making noise, then I get
the punishments for making noise though. I think some of us were noisemakers from the jump.
I used to make noise, but sasa mbona why are you punishing me?
Because you're not supposed to make noise.
Kwanza my class teacher. Shout out to you, Miss Hippopotamus, because I will call you. Like, I'm over it. You're just full of it.
Wow. Okay.
I'm really getting into my feelings.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Form 1 was a bit traumatic. Imagine this babe used to be like, Ati, you're the one who's making people make noise. Whose mouth did I open? But then I was also out of pocket. I talked to my teachers anyhow.
That's the other thing. Do you think that...
I'm not surprised I was suspended.
Exactly. To what extent did you
contribute
to the menace that was your high school experience? Because I acknowledge that I came from a place of... I was extremely defensive. Even getting into uni for the first year, I was defensive. Meaning, you couldn't tell me anything. I was always right. There's nothing that you could say that could change my mind about literally whatever I had decided to think in that moment. So to that extent, I understand how it might make it difficult for authority to approach me in a positive manner and make it difficult for other people who are my age and my peers to tell me something if they feel like if I've done or said something wrong. So they might opt to just either distance themselves or,
Yeah.
So I understand to that extent because up to Form 3, Form 4, I don't think I was able to form any meaningful friendships.
Really?
Yeah, I had a few friends from primary school who went to the same high school.
Okay.
But even that one, I don't feel like it was that deep. And the friends that I had in Form 3, we used to get into a lot of trouble. So I can't consider those ones meaningful. Hi, guys. I can't consider those ones meaningful friendships. Because it was mostly just like, dragging each other into doing the things that we feel like
really
going against the system.
the
Basically,
people
we were just rebelling.
The people who I ended up being friends with in Form 1 were people I sat next to, obviously, and then people I sat next to, people who I shared a dorm with, and now the ones who I used to get into punishments with. But then it wasn't, one of them wasn't even, we almost got expelled together actually. But we weren't bad kids. I think it was that thing for culture shock. You're trying to adapt. You're better than this school, but you're here. And so when teachers don't understand, then they think you're just trying to be a rebel, but really you're just struggling.
You're just trying to be yourself.
I think people need to stop. Teachers need to understand that sometimes in Form 1, you're just struggling to adapt. You're not even trying to be a kurutu or anything. Like, you're not trying to be bad vibes or be a bad student. And maybe you also, first of all, it's also peak of your teenage years. You're also adjusting to being
so
who
many
you
things
are.
are changing at the same time. Like, your body is physically changing, hormonally. Your friends, maybe if you're living with your parents, maybe they're not. And at some point, this is a time, for many people, their parents are not going through the best of times. So if their family situation is not working out,
then now school.
And you're trying to adapt and make the most out of a very unfortunate situation.
The thing that I think affected my Form 1 specifically, like my joining high school, was our year was the year where they said if you went to private school, like, people in public school get priority. So even if you passed,
you still go to a bad school.
You go to a bad public school. And mind you, you have the grades to go to a national school. So I remember being very bitter because I didn't understand why life was not working in my favor and why
you're being punished for being in a private school.
Not even that. You're punishing me for my parents struggling to pay fees to take me to a good school. So because they took me to a good school, I don't deserve, and I put in the work, and then I got the grades, and then there was a lot.
I get you.
There was a lot. And then now this school that I was in, I ended up getting there. I got called to some other school, so I ended up getting into this other school in a different way. But still, I was like, I still don't deserve this school. Like, I deserve better than this. It was one of those ones. So imagine that. And then being top of your class, like, it was a lot. Then now I'm here struggling with that. And then when I fail, you're coming for my neck. Kwanza, let me tell you. Shout out to my home science teacher because you got me suspended for no reason, to be fair. Like, honestly.
What did you do?
Okay, so what happened was we had, I think, a church thing at school. And then I sat at the back. So to make a nyuma, backbenchers, me and like 3 of my friends. And then we had my notebook where we've written like what we'll do during our holiday.
Yeah.
This is second term. So August holidays. So I'm like breaking up with my boyfriend. Then the other one was I don't know what. And so honestly, it's not even a relationship because what is this? What did I know?
What did we know?
As in, I'm 14? No, I was turning 15. Yeah, that year. Yeah. What do I know about relationships? Of course, it was
your
just one
feelings
of
were valid, but
no,
you don't. Yeah, I think they were.
I mean, they were, but literally a list of I'm breaking up with my boyfriend. Then I'll also go to the movies, and so we were there chapping story about what we'll do during August holiday. And then she came. Then she found us talking. We were supposed to be listening to this service, this boring service, and we're chapping story. It wasn't even a service because the school was ACK, but now this was Anglican, but this was like those church services that are in the dining hall.
Yeah.
So she takes the notebook and then she goes through the notebook and then she gives it to my class teacher, who I already told you I spoke to horribly by telling her, I'm not the one who's making I've not opened anyone's mouth to tell them to talk. Okay. Sounds like a personal problem. Don't take it up with them, not me. Imagine, I was a smart mouth. I need to check myself. But, so she took it to my class teacher. Then my class teacher went through this book. The issue wasn't even what I had written for Nini. It was, I had written, the way when we were in high school, we used to write lyrics to songs.
Yes.
So there was Pink's Something Perfect. And then there was, what other song? So it was like insert password perfect and then the song itself and then other songs. And then remember when we were in high school, we used to get letters from boys' schools, girls' schools, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone, so no one was sending me a letter. Me, the most I got was a dedix. Like, shout out to Maya from Person X.
Yeah.
Max. Nico Form 1. Who knows
It's
me?
Form 1.
Honestly.
No, yeah, you haven't really interacted like that.
So, you know those letters used to have like dirty jokes?
Yeah.
Like they'd be a riddle. Something like, I don't know if I can say this on the pod.
Just say it and then we'll determine whether we'll
Okay. Something like goes in, dry, comes out wet, but then the answer is teabag. But then if you're evil-minded, you'd think, okay, not evil-minded, but like if you are thinking nastily, you'd think something else.
Yeah.
You get the concept? So there are also those jokes. Obviously, I wasn't the author of those jokes. Let's be clear. I had just seen them on maybe letters. We were like, my book was, you know, there you can sit on your friends and then we all write down different things and then we're there laughing about them and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna post this on Facebook when I get home because this is so funny. It's dumb.
I on Facebook, but
I was on Facebook. I was a very serious Facebooker. Don't look me up. It was tragic. And you have deleted most of the comments.
Up because that's what makes people curious, and then they actually look you up. And I lost the password to that account. So if you find it, don't show me.
Don't even. It was tragic. Anyway, we move. So she sees those jokes. Then she assumes I'm
the author of the jokes.
I'm the author of the jokes because it's my notebook. Yeah. And then she asks about it, and I'm like, yeah, it's my notebook. But I'm sorry, I'll even be a good student. Like, this is me talking to my class teacher, like, Lenga, this story. And then she says, do you have any issues with the admin? Then I say none, which is true. I didn't have any beef with the admin. But then the dean of students was my business teacher. And as I told you, like, I was top of my class or top 10, whatever. And when the grades came out, I didn't get an A. Because obviously, first year, nimecheza, I think I got like a B+. So they're like, why would a student who came into this school like this get a low grade? So they asked my class teacher, and who is my class teacher but a supplier of the notebook?
Like, here, guys, this is what she has been doing instead.
We had already spoken. Tulikuwa tumechore your story. Like, we had ended the story in like second term.
You were fine.
End of second term, I told her I'm going to change.
This is how many months later?
We'd spoken about this story second term. Cindy had been punished for making noise. My home science teacher has forwarded me to my class teacher. My class teacher has said, okay, if you're gonna behave, blah blah blah, it's good. If you don't have issues with the admin, we're deading this story. Me, I'm thinking, cool. We are good. Destroy the book. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's been real. Cheers. Third term. Form 1. I report to school. First week of school. First of all, something odd happened in that first week. One of the teachers, I don't know, she's called Miss Kongo or something. She comes to class and she's like, and who's Terimaya?
We will that name.
Whatever.
My God.
And no, she didn't even do anything wrong. She just came and asked, like, who am I? Yeah. And then I remember saying, I raised my hand and she said, oh, okay. Then she went away. Like, it was one of those ones for like, I'm trying to identify who this is. Hey, then later on, on week 2, someone comes to class and they're like, oh, you're being called in the admin. I'm like, okay. So I go and then the principal is like, is this your notebook? And I'm like, yeah. And are the contents in this notebook yours? I'm not going to start listing my friends who've written in my book. So of course
you're not going to snitch.
I said, yeah, they are mine. And she said, okay, then go get your suspension slip and find your way home. Come back with your parents after a week. I said, what?
So after the fact. Not even
that. It's the fact that I even forgot about this story.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine you've gone on holiday for a whole month. Yeah. You've come back. Now it's week 2 and you're being hounded for something that ended like you don't even remember what's in the book at this point. So I'm like, why am I being suspended? Hey, I've never javed home. I've pandered a mat before, but with my parents. I've never gone home alone. Even coming to school, I was dropped.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? I go back to class and I'm there like with balancing. I tell my desk mate, shout out to you, Ashley. And then she's like, don't worry, here's a number. She gives me a note. She writes a message. She says like, this is my friend. It's person X of Mama Nani. Please give her your phone. She calls person X. She tells me, go to the shopping center that's near the school and then you can call your parents. So I'm like, cool. I go, I call my folks, my Guka comes for me. Of course, he's livid.
Of course.
He's
like, what is going on? It's week 2.
Almost blue.
Why have you...
Because of anger.
Suspended
Yo. He's mad. And then he asked me what's up. And then I say, I don't know, they sent me home. because they said I'm a nuisance. And then it was like, okay, we'll talk about it when we get there. So I said it's because of a book with bad jokes or something. I didn't make it a big deal. So I get my lecture. I call a lecture from my Guka. I call a lecture for my mom. I call a lecture for my shushu. I call a lecture from everyone. Like, I just collected my L's. And then I was told, you can't even have your phone, blah, blah, blah. That 1 week was a long week. I go back to school. I go back to school and this lady is like, this is not your parent. And I'm like, well, it is. Like, I know you have the potential of, I think she thought I hired like a guy to come pretend to be my folks. And I know people do that. But I'm in Form 1, surely. What do I know? I didn't even know the way home.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So what did she say?
So she says, you need to leave because I know you didn't bring your parent. And I'm like, Sasa,
who are you going to bring? Who else are you going to bring?
I don't even understand. Hey, it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So then, okay, we get in and then my guy explains and he's like, no, I'm actually her parent, I'm her guardian because I blah, 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 blah. And then the lady says, okay, fine. Do you know why she's here? I'm like, yeah, she said she came, she's been suspended because of a book with bad jokes or whatever. And then the lady's like, no, that's not the case. She's been suspended because she's disseminating pornographic material. I said, porno who? Porno what? Hi. I don't know how riddles have like turned 14. Into pornographic material. It's not like I was selling.
Disseminating.
It's not like I was selling porn magazines. I wasn't working for Pornhub. Like, what is this? First of all, it's the fact that I've never even opened Pornhub.
Okay. Can breathe in?
I can't even because.
No. Can't try.
So my Goka is like, what? So I'm sent outside to go explain to him exactly what it is. So I have to come up with, like, I said, I wrote a song called This. My Guka, obviously, I've cast. So I've said XYZ song. Yeah, he's like livid. Yeah. Kidogo, I'm trying to say jokes and the only joke I could think of was a teabag one, guys. It was
the
bad.
fact that it's still on your mind up to this stage.
Because I had to say it to my grandfather. My soul literally left my body. Experiencing that, the trauma.
Baby girl, I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God. What is this?
Yeah.
What is this? Yo. Anyway, we go back into the room. My Goka says the things I've said, I had said. They have a conversation. They say, I'm asked where I got them. Of course, I'm not going to say letters. Letters are going to be banned in this school. Yeah. And it's literally our only source of entertainment.
Yep.
So I say Facebook. It's obviously a lie. And then I'm told, okay, then I'm told I have to promise what grade I'll get in my next term. And if I get that grade, then at least they'll have room for them to not expel me. And I'm like, you're going to expel me because I didn't get I'm not going to fight you.
Let's not even get into like the academic pressure and unrealistic standards that they try and set in these high schools. Considering not everyone is academically gifted in the same way. Like, some people are good at English, others
I
are
think
good at
the worst
math.
thing is
just
you're
chill.
on my neck and you can't tell that I am adjusting to a new system. First of all, I never used to suffer like this. I used to get good grades because I used to study and spend all my time studying. Now I'm here cleaning pavements, getting punishments, catching L's, going for funkies. I don't know what's going on. School is barely my priority. Yeah. And then now
you're surviving. You're not really academics can't be a priority when you focus on just survival.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't get the grade for my next term. Like, I did my best. I even avoided punishment. I even avoided my friends for trouble. Like, I was on my best behavior. Guys, I was on my best behavior.
You always know your friends for trouble.
Tell me why the last day of school, I get called to the principal's office again. I swear I was fighting for my life in that school. She tells me, oh, you didn't get the grade you said you were going to get. And I'm like, Riuri, what is this?
Oh, God.
And she says, yeah, so we're expelling you because you haven't changed.
What was wrong with these people?
That's all that principal. If I met you today, Bumbo fire you. I'm tired. I'm telling you. When the thunder finish you.
Someone
I'm
is
so
upset and I get you.
So now she tells me I didn't get the grade. Your light is on.
Sorry,
I didn't get the grade and so I'm going to be expelled because I haven't changed. And I'm like, what punishment have I done? Yeah. Okay, like, you're still hanging out with those friends. Me, the baby, I didn't even wake up that lady. So it was the meeting was me, the principal, and the deputy principal. Mm-hmm. Of course, the reason I didn't, it was me, the principal, and the deputy principal. Mm-hmm. And when she called me into the room, so I enter alone. Then when I went to the principal's office, I didn't realize my parents were there. So now my Kuka has come again. He's like, oh God, what is this again?
Yeah.
So no, Mimi, I've entered. They've told me things, and I didn't even wait for that man to talk. I said, you're still hanging out with people. I said, what punishment was the last punishment I did? Name it. And then she's like, oh, and Siju also still, what was I told? I'm still hanging out with the same bad friends, Pastor Next. And I said, are you the one who's going to know my friends? Or am I going to know my own friends?
Yeah.
My friends are X, Y, Z, not A, B, C. You need to Yani, I didn't even wake her because now at this point I'm livid. I'm like, this is rubbish. The deputy principal is like, Maya, have you ever heard of turn taking? And I'm like, no, what's that? So she says, it's when you give someone a chance to finish talking so that you can talk. I said, oh, okay, I've never heard of it. Okay. So will I be allowed to talk after she's done saying whatever she's saying? The deputy principal says yes. So the principal talks and talks and talks, and then she's done. And then I say, okay, fine, can I start? And I say my piece. I say my piece because I was done.
I feel like at this point you also have nothing to lose. They've already said they're expelling you for a reason that I really honestly don't think was valid.
So I walk out, and then my Guka walks in. I don't know what conversation they have because one thing about him, he's a diplomatic man. Because
you're here fighting him.
He said
like,
he's fighting my battles for the right reasons because my
yeah.
CV cannot stand it. He said we can't get into our school. Itabidi umengangana.
Wow.
So okay, we could, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So he tears me, and then now we enter together. So me and my Guka, and then the deputy principal, of course, is on my side because she's like, this is a very spirited human being.
Yeah.
She's just a smart person who doesn't understand what's going on. So I was told that I even have to go get I shouldn't be idle. So like in the holidays, they should get me enrolled in classes that I like. I chose music. They were like perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I ended up staying in the school. I mean, like not getting expelled
At that moment.
At that moment. In Form 2, I moved up.
You left.
Yeah, because my parents were like, this is how you'll end up getting accused for strikes. Because a strike is going to happen at some point.
Yep.
It's high school.
Yep.
It's Kenyan high school.
Yep.
So because the strike is about to happen, it's going to happen at some point.
Yep.
And they don't like you. The administration doesn't like you. There's
It's
nothing
already
worse than when
going
the admin doesn't like you because you
Yes.
always get the short end of the stick.
You're always going to be accused for something, even if you've not done anything.
Yeah,
wrong.
so I decided, okay, that's how I'm moving. That's when I moved to private school, which was also ghetto, but we'll address that in the next session because if we start from that,
Yeah,
we'll be here all day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I ended up being
When you
suspended
said-
and almost expelled.
I think I've never been suspended or expelled, but it's as a result of me being able to talk myself out of situations. The situations for me being suspended were there, but
You're good at it.
I was more afraid of my parents than I was of the admin.
Okay.
Let me say it like that, because I was like, I'm not going home. You can call them to come, but I'm not going home. They can kill me when you're watching. I will have witnesses, but I am not going. Because there's a time, first of all, this one was just hilarious. I was minding my business, playing hockey as I usually was most of it. First of all, they had a problem with me playing hockey after Form 3 because they're like, oh, you should be focusing on your academics. But this was the only thing keeping me sane. I said, stop me if you can.
Fight me today.
Fight me. Same thing as how I chose the subject that I was doing. I decided, you know how these technical subjects, either a language or business or any
Oh,
of those
yeah,
things.
yeah.
I decided I'm not going to do any of those subjects because I didn't like any of them. See how this person doesn't fit into the Kenyan education system. So the admin from the jump was anti-Ngina because she doesn't do what she's told. The rules are like you need to run around the school, but you can't make me understand why I need to run everywhere when I'm not saving any time. I'm getting there when I'm tired, sweaty, and my chest is heavy. It doesn't make sense to me. This school
Some
is
things were
small.
so unnecessary.
That's the thing. And
So unnecessary.
if I can't understand why I'm
Pointless.
doing something, you just telling me do it
I'm
doesn't
not gonna
work.
do it because what is this prison?
Or
Am I a zombie? Am I human being?
after Form 3, you need to go to sleep like at 10 p.m. and not at 9 p.m. I like sleep. I like to sleep. I will sleep. And either way, even if I'm not sleeping, I'll just not be in class. Like if I know I'm not going to be actually concentrating.
Yeah, there's
I
no
just want
point.
to do. I want to do it.
It's a waste of your time.
So I would go to sleep with the Form 1s and Form 4, and my principal would be livid. She would meet me walking. It's like, again. She's shouting at me, and I'm like, I can't concentrate. What do you want me to do? I need to sleep. If you want me to wake up early at 5 and actually study at that 5 a.m., which I didn't, because I used to sleep through morning prep. But
Even I'm sleeping. I'm here to sleep. Champion of sleeping. I'm not even gonna judge you because was I not a sleeper? Oh,
either way, she did not like me at all. And not only did she not like me, she didn't like my mother. Because what she used to do was she used to call my mother to complain about me. And my mother would be like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, she's with you. Me, when she's at home, I deal with her. She's with you, you deal with it. You're calling me about my daughter making noise. What am I supposed to do about it from miles away? So she didn't like my mother, she didn't like me. Because my mother was master enabler. Like, my mother has always been my enabler.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Hey, she does definitely enabled me. So this time, this one is not something that I did, but we were called, a bunch of us, me and now that group of friends, for rebels. We were told we want to ban the physics lab. I imagine the minute she said that, I started laughing because I thought she was joking. How? Like, oh, you guys are here because you want to ban the physics lab. I immediately laughed. She was offended.
Because are you laughing at an adult saying something? Really, you're wicked.
Because I thought she was joking. She was like,
well, she wasn't.
Yeah, and then they were there with our sheets and our academic progresses. You know, when you came into this school, you know that one for you had this grade. We expect you to be here, and you're not. I wasn't really good in math. Never really been good with math like that. I was not doing well in maths. Like, see, you're failing, and you're just out here planning on banning the physics lab. I really liked physics, so if I was to ban a lab, it would not be that one. Probably like the chem lab or something. But
that's neither here nor there.
You're not banning. We're not arsonists.
Is the point?
It doesn't matter because we were not planning on banning the physics lab. So these guys are here. We're trying to tell them to not call our parents because we're not planning on banning the physics lab. But it's just, it didn't matter what we said.
Eventually, they really made up their mind.
Yeah, eventually they called my parents, but I don't even remember what conversation was had, because the next time we were talked to was about grades. I think my parents just didn't believe that I could ban.
Why would you be banning anything? Why, but your parents, at least they're fighting for you. We might would
my
believe anything they're told.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I love you guys, but I know you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a very, very appreciative of my mom because I don't know how long I would have survived in that school if she was also on the side of fighting with the principal.
The principal.
Yeah. Anyway, what was I
going to say? My deputy principal was the one who saved me. Hiyo naye ningeenda nyumbani.
I think for me it was my mom and my English teacher. Because every other teacher was
mine, it was my grades and my deputy. If it wasn't for those two, I would have been out like Kwanza, this thing, I forgot what I wanted to say.
No, I was going to ask now. What would you tell your high school self? What is something you would want your high school self to know right now? Knowing what you know right now, this far you have come in life, a message to her.
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. Maybe start.
Okay.
As I think of what I'd tell her so many things.
Okay. What? So I think I would say you'll be glad you didn't peak in high school. Like, that wasn't where you were meant to peak at. I don't even think I'm at my peak right now. But I see Sikobaya. I see the people who peaked in high school. I'm really trying to not make this. Okay.
You know, before you finish, you know what this sounds like? This sounds like always date the ugly people in school because they're the ones who become beautiful eventually. And then the ones who are pretty just don't look the same. And it's not anti-hating. It's just, I feel like it's a universal fact.
I don't know. Okay.
Like, sometimes I look back and I'm just like, this one was msupu. And then now I'm just like, what happened? Is everything okay? Even it doesn't even have to be a beauty.
It's not appearance, yeah.
It also used to be like social success.
Exactly. Being socially comfortable and, you know, everyone liking you and wanting you and being popular, so to say. Yeah, so the people who are the most popular at that point in time, I'm not saying that they're not successful in their own respects. All I'm saying is that they don't carry that popularity out of high school into life.
In high school. They start other things.
Yeah, so whatever I thought, or whatever now that Ngina thought was important at that point in time, really wasn't. And I'm kind of glad I didn't peak in high school, like socially, because I would not be the socially adjusted person that I am. I think I have much more deeper and more meaningful friendships right now than I ever did at that point in time. And I know myself and I'm more comfortable and confident with myself right now. So all I'll say is that it does get better, and it may be a sad phase, but you will get happier, and like life will become happier for you. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yo. What I would tell her, it's not that deep.
That's also true.
It's not that deep. You failing a certain unit is not that deep. Not unit, sorry, subject. Yeah, they're called subjects. Subject is not that deep, or it's not that deep for you to have Facebook and post all this unnecessary. But there's some of the things I posted, it's quite unnecessary. I apologize.
Is that Facebook page still up?
So then, so that people can go look. Wait,
I want to look.
There are a lot of things I posted that were unnecessary. So one, the validation from your classmates, from men. Okay, not men, boys. It wasn't that deep. What would I tell her? I'd tell her also, don't take... Not in life, things don't always work out. And it's okay. So like, you see, the way I took it so personally that I didn't go to like a public... I didn't go to a national school.
The school you want,
the school I wanted.
Yeah.
It's okay. Imagine things still worked out. You still went to a really good school. You still achieved all the things you wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't go there. Like, I don't know.
That's so true.
Because we used to take things so deep. Like, you fail, like, let's say you fail your mock. You want to cry for a whole week. Like, what is all this?
It means you're going to fail KCSE. And also, if you don't get the best grades in
KCSE, no one ever asks you about your... I'm sorry. Do people even ask? I feel like they lied to us about that thing for KCSE matters. Imagine utakuwa tu sawa. It's not that deep.
Especially
it helps you get into uni, but...
Yeah.
And the uni you want, but other than that, hey.
I think for the most part, if you have uni grades, like... grades enough for you to get to like a good university, if that's what you want also, because it's okay to not want to go to university. If you get like above a C plus and you want to go to university, anything above that, whether you had an A, a B plus, no one really cares.
No one asks.
Even in our friend, do I know what anyone had in high school? No. Do I care? Really?
Maybe we don't even ask each other. That's really landed.
And let me tell you, when I was going to pick my leaving certificate, like my final certificate from that school, and the principal looked at me and was like, oh yeah, so what uni are you going to? So I told her that we went to Strathmore and we did law. So I told her I'm going to Strathmore to do law, and the shock on this woman's face, I've never seen someone so flabbergasted. Like, she was expecting me to fail. And that is the proudest moment of your life.
You know, the funny thing
I love it.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
It's the same. You see that principal from my Form 1? She told my parents, I wasn't even there. She told my parents that I will never amount to anything. And I remember being, like, hearing that in this way. Like, my grandma said it at my graduation. And I was like, Ati?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. And I'm just like, sawa basi. Sasa nikipata na yeye na mawakili now, what will she say? Like, it's so unfortunate that I don't like when people in positions where they can impact young minds are speaking like that upon people's lives. Don't speak like that upon my life, please.
Yeah.
And then even my CRE teacher from my private school, oh God, that one did not like me one bit. But it was an arrogance issue. Like, I wasn't trying to back down, and he had a problem. He assumed everyone was trying to behave like a spoiled brat or a spoiled rich kid or whatever. And I'm like, that sounds like a personal don't project, you're a grown up. So now you're here projecting on me, and then I still get an A in your unit. Ebu, leave me alone.
It's actually always those ones.
It's always those ones. The bitter ones. Anyway, what I would tell my younger self is, please, some things they might feel useless, but they are trying to teach you something. So you see, the way in high school, there was a routine. Like, routine is, it's not, it doesn't work for everyone, but routine is so,
it's key,
paramount in a disciplined life and a successful life. And that's the one thing I think I slept on. Like, you're cool. Like, the fact that I had to be chapward to get to class on time, it's not that deep. Now I'm struggling to get to work. Like, I just learned the art of punctuality, the art of waking up early at this time. Oh, not even early, but like waking up at a specific time. Or that your sleeping pattern works for you, or it's important.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have some of the flaws I have today that aren't character flaws. Yeah. They're just... I'm a creature of habit, and now I don't
this
have
is not the habit that you have.
I have formed a bad habit.
Learn and unlearn a different habit, and it takes work.
That's the thing, and that's the thing about high school. I was hanging out with a group of people who were in the same high school last weekend, and they were saying how for them, their school really nurtured routine for them, and it's been their biggest, I don't know, takeaway. Like, it's really worked for them right now as adults. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Wow.
I wish it was ingrained in me enough.
Yeah.
Or maybe I let it even happen because I used to fight the system. Why am I fighting the system? And they know better.
That's the
Sometimes
other
they
thing.
actually know more than you think.
As we are fighting the bad things, sometimes we also fight the good things. Because us system fighters, we're fighting everything.
All of them
We're
are
fighting
like,
all of them. Yeah.
shika kila mtu L.
But anyway, if you're in high school right now, sometimes the system does work in your favor. So you don't need to fight everything. But if you really feel like something is against your core beliefs, power to you.
And also, do you feel like high school allowed you a certain level of self-awareness?
No.
For real?
No.
I think, okay, I agree that they do force issues and like they impose their beliefs and their systems. Cons are those Catholic schools. Really, I don't understand what's going on. But I think to some extent, maybe it's boarding school, maybe it's the friends you make. Like at least the school I went to, there was, okay, so the private school I went to, there was a lot of elitism. Okay. So people would be, they used to do this thing where rich kids are special, they are popular, like people who can afford to go. And it's, I never used to realize that in public school, there was never poor or rich.
Yeah.
But in private school, there was that thing.
Yeah.
And there was like, oh, you're pretty, like light skins are pretty, or there's like a pretty girl club, or there's a clique for like people who can go to movies during the holidays. And it used to make high school so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So the reason of that's part what I'm saying for self-awareness is when I went to now this school, I realized, there's actually a different demon to fight. And I'm not this person.
Yeah.
Like even if someone is going to group me and put me in a box, that's not who I am. I'm not going to be here stepping on people for no reason.
Okay.
And the school also used to do this thing where they used to put us in groups of the smartest, like all the smart people, like top 30 in one class to
like that,
30
like
to
that,
60,
like that.
60 to 80, like that. It was terrible because then it's calling you stupid constantly.
Yeah.
Or calling you smart. Like now,
You're literally in a box.
You're in a box. So the school is forcing you to be in a box academically. The students, because they're fighting the system, and I don't know whether it was ironic, but some people who are from good families always ended up in the last class. So then they're also trying to assert their inferiority, like
their dominance. It's like you're compensating. Yeah.
There was a lot in that school, and it made me it makes you aware of what's going on. I don't think I was aware of the privilege I had, or the things that were like you don't even notice. You know you're smart, but then it's not an identity.
Yeah.
So now you're like, I'm self-aware to know that I can only identify myself to this extent before it becomes pretentious, before it becomes you're a snob, before it becomes like I learned social dynamics.
Interesting. No, I didn't have that. I think I was just on survival mode.
Also, I'm just trying to.
I was just trying to get you in, man. Yeah. Anyway, I think we can end and finish there. It's probably gonna be a really long episode.
Yeah. Okay.
You wanna outro us?
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to us. I hope you enjoyed this. Please comment your high school horror stories or success stories or things you learned or what you'd tell your younger self in the comments. Follow us on YouTube, podcast platforms such as Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, and you can also follow us on our social media, which is Maya Mushemi,
and I am Gina.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.